Hi, my name is Brandon, and I'm an alcoholic and addict in recovery. I'm going to talk today about how my attempts to get rid of anxiety, depression, and turmoil in my life actually contributed to the problems that I had in my addiction. Before I do that, if you enjoy these videos, I make these videos every day. If you're looking for a daily dose of just recovery chat, hit the like or subscribe button below. Hit the notification bell so you get alerts when I post one. I post one of these every morning, and just trying to share some experience and some insight about the things that I read each day with the recovery community. So on to today's topic. I have suffered for a long time with anxiety and depression. A lot of this stemmed from diagnosed obsessive compulsive disorder and then my alcohol and drug use. And these, especially anxiety and depression, these things really got to a point in my life where they were the dominant emotions and feelings that I had throughout the day. And in fact, the reason that I came to recovery was because my depression in particular was so out of control that I literally woke up one day and did not know what to do next. Had to be told what to do next. And I'm very fortunate that my wife told me at that moment, we're going to go check out some treatment centers. So one of the things that happens to a lot of us when we go through treatment and when we enter into recovery is some of these negative emotions and negative feelings that we have start to go away. We start to feel relief. And all of a sudden, especially in the beginning of recovery, things are very good. And it feels nice to have those emotions, that turmoil gone. We may even see some of the turmoil we had with our family start to dissipate a little bit. If we had trouble with our spouses or with our parents or with siblings or with friends, we may see that go away. Same thing at work. We may see work start to improve almost immediately, because if you're used to going to work and reporting to work under the influence or recovering from a hangover, then you might be able to very quickly see some improvement in your performance there. And so these things happen really quickly, and then all of a sudden something will happen to disturb the good flow that you've got going. You get in an argument with a spouse, you do something incorrectly at work and get in trouble for it, or a lot of times the feelings of depression and anxiety may start to creep back in. And what I found was that I had this innate desire in the beginning of my recovery to get rid of these emotions. I just wanted to be rid of them. I didn't want to go through them again. I didn't want to be angry at anybody. I didn't want to be depressed. I didn't want to be anxious. I didn't want to be stressed out, overwhelmed. I didn't want to feel any of that stuff. And it took me a second to realize, wow, that sounds a lot like the way you dealt with those emotions when you were in your addiction. I realized that I wanted to get rid of the emotions because they were uncomfortable in the exact same way that I wanted to get rid of them in my addiction. And so I was running from them. I was trying to do whatever I could to get away from those emotions rather than experiencing them as part of life. And the reason I thought about this was I was reading a section from Going to Pieces Without Falling Apart by Mark Epstein this morning, where he talks about people who use tools like meditation to get into a calm state, but then become so attached to that calm state of mind that when they re-enter the turmoil of the real world, they find it difficult to deal with, because all they want is the calmness and the stillness, and they have trouble translating back into what the real world, where they don't have control over that calmness, that stillness. They don't have control over the chaos and the turmoil that can happen in the real world. And one of the parts of what he says that stuck out to me was, just as wind is a part of creation, so are anger, thoughts, or family turmoil. Stillness does not mean the elimination of disturbances as much as a different way of viewing them. If we can let anger rise and fall naturally, it becomes, in the Buddhist view, self-liberating. We get into trouble with anger if we try to eliminate it too precipitously, through denial or avoidance, or if we turn it into hatred. Let me say that again, since I kind of screwed that up. We get into trouble with anger if we try to eliminate it too precipitously, though through denial or avoidance, or if we turn it into hatred. So we have to, in recovery and in life in general, find different ways to handle these emotions rather than trying to get rid of them. And that's become one of the most challenging aspects of recovery for me. And a great, very small, very minor example of this happened as I was about to start this video. There was a plane going overhead, and it was incredibly loud. And I didn't want to start the video because I thought that the mic might pick it up. And it lasted what seemed like forever, and I found myself getting irritated with it, and with a plane going overhead. And I thought to myself, man, that is a weird reaction to a situation you have no control over. And then I asked myself the question, what's a different reaction you can have? And the answer I came to was, say a quick prayer for the safety of those people on the plane. And that's just an example of how just a very quick questioning of the mind, questioning of my irritation, and then the implementation of some of the principles I've learned in my program of recovery, which is AA, the implementation of some of those principles by thinking more about other people, less about myself, can quickly turn what was an irritating circumstance into a circumstance where I'm able to take a few seconds to reflect on the needs of others and to think about other people. And I thought that was really cool the way that worked out. And it just is further supported what I then ended up reading, which was that we have to learn how to live with these emotions and not run from them and not want to get rid of them. You know, I don't want to take my irritation about a plane going overhead and figure out how can I get rid of this irritation, and wish that there wasn't a plane. I need to figure out what's a different approach to thinking about this situation in the first place. And it's at that point that my irritation isn't eliminated, but shifts into something a little bit more useful and a little bit more conducive to the state of mind I'm trying to carry with me throughout the day. That's it for today. Hope you have a good one. I'll be back here tomorrow with more.